Good morning. This is Operation Expendables, just sort of a wrap up the tabletop simulator um, from the volcano layer. Here, let's do that. Operation Expendables was the Prussian gamers against Kaiju Clan, uh, Panzer George, Bandit, and myself were the Axis. George was the Germans, and Dave was the Japanese, and I was the Italians. And the Schmitz Prussian gamers were the allies. Um, so I downloaded Tabletop Simulator. I was Italy. I was taken out of the game in the fourth or fifth round, so I was more of an advisor than anything. Um, but anyway, we played with the Spoils of War cards. They were the allies. Or everybody gets an extra $5 to spend to divvy up. The transports lost their infantry requirements. Um, so no infantry required. The cruisers really got doubled up. They got to move three, and they bombard with two dice, and then the fighters cost nine. Those were our cards. Italy, I was able to use the cruisers. They start with the two cruisers and the transport to great effect. I believe it was turn three that I took Cairo um, with, or maybe three. It might have been two. I'm not sure. Um, I took Cairo with all the tanks and the cruisers with the double bombardment and everything. I was able to get the Axis share of the money for the first couple of turns and really kind of blew it on taking Cairo and expanding into the Middle East, and then expanded a little bit too far. I shouldn't have gone into Iraq. I should have set the line at Transjordan. But anyway, the UK had built a factory in Cairo, so I was able to nab it. They built it in turn one. I nailed it turn two, I think, and then built an airbase in turn three for a scramble and kept it until turn six. I think they were able to take it back between the Commonwealths. We held off the Commonwealths, but the Russians finished it off coming from the Caucasus. So yeah, I blew my load trying to you know take care of that. But what that did, it really helped. Uh, we really, not necessarily by design, but went after the UK. George um, killed their fleet. They went with a scramble on a battle, and I think the third rounds. Anyway, we got basically they had no planes, and their tech was jet fighters, which they didn't deploy until super late. The Americans had ATC, which they also didn't use till late. So after the Americans uh, massed their navy over here on the East Coast and brought everything into the Med and took Rome. And after retaking Rome, the Germans had enough mobile units to retake it, and they were never able to. The Allies at that point, there weren't enough ground troops in Europe or on this side of the map to do what they needed to do. They had the two infantry in Gibraltar, um, but all the damage that was done by Italy, there weren't any ground units, and the UK was basically cut off by the sea. Um, so all that attention by the Allies allowed Japan to with their ATC. Germany had heavy bombers, Russia with artillery. Um, they really allowed Japan to go kind of crazy. Weren't able to keep the China point because the Russians came into Kansu. The Russians were uh, Germany didn't really go into Russia too much. Spent a lot of time trying to uh, back up the Middle East and killed German planes. Traded Leningrad back and forth a couple of times, but really didn't penetrate into. In fact, the Russians were into Slovakia and probably could have gotten even farther if they'd a turn or two earlier gotten a little bit more aggressive. But Germany hadn't used the Blitz, so you got to be cautious against the Blitz. Uh, but yeah, Kansu got taken, and the Chinese were able to nail the genocide point. We won by with 13, I believe. Uh, Sorry, I buried the lead there. Um, anyway, there could have been a big battle in Manchuria, uh, but all of the attention in the Calcutta was taken and then basically given right back. Lots of strategic bombing in the Middle East and in India and the Caucasus. Um, but the oil points, Japan was able to come down here and take Australia. So that really helped. That was um, a victory point. They were able to get the Pacific Islands. The oil point um, ended up the U.S. ended up being able to retake Hawaii, so we didn't get that one, um, but did enough damage with the Imperial point as well. Uh, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Southeast Asia, um, did enough to get it done. Um, so yeah, thanks to the Russian gamers for a couple of great games. I appreciate it. Atlanta is next weekend, and I'm not going to go there. But Bandit and General in the Bunker are going to represent the Kaiju, along with our new guy Austin from. I don't know if he's got a name yet. General's name. Anyway, he's from Kansas City as well. So good luck to them. Good luck to everybody. Hope you have a great time. All right. Let me. If there's anything that I missed, let me know. There was some notes. Let's see. What did George have to say? Huh. Um, George was thinking about Sea Lion for a minute, and wiping out the RAF was sort of a happy coincidence. Yeah, we were able to keep Warsaw, but yeah, okay. Anyway, I'm rambling at this point, so I'm gonna cut it off. Thanks for anybody that watched. Have a good day.